of the Atlantic, one over the treacherous Pacific. Roaring into the Oakland airport, she brings to a triumphant finish her 2,400-mile hop from Hawaii after 18 hours in the air. 10,000 cheer the end of the epical flight as the Lady Lindy slides into a perfect landing with 2 records. The first woman to fly the Pacific and the first person to fly it solo. She receives one of the most tumultuous greetings ever accorded a flyer. Roses to Amelia and the plaudits of the world to a veteran of flights that have shown the way for aviation's progress. It's her most brilliant chapter in a 16-year aviation career. How does it feel to fly both oceans, Miss Earhart?
Well, it was very interesting to me to fly in southern waters rather than in the north. On the Atlantic flight, I had ice conditions and general storm. On this flight, really no bad weather at all except a few little rain squalls. I saw the moon and stars most of the night. Of course, in both flights, I was very glad to see land.
50 years ago, a brave cosmonaut named Valentina Tereshkova blazed a trail for women around the world by launching in a Vostok spacecraft to become the first female to fly in space. That groundbreaking achievement in the early days of the space race was an important step for women representing many nations and cultures to consider new paths in life. The work of Miss Tereshkova and that of Sally Ride 20 years later as the first American woman to fly in space served as an inspiration to me to study hard and to conclude that nothing could stop me from reaching as far as I could to achieve my dreams. It is an honor during this 50th anniversary celebration of the flight of Valentina Tereshkova to be flying with Russian, American, and Italian colleagues on this magnificent laboratory called the International Space Station.
Women in Aviation, 1911, current. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Since the beginning of flight, aviation has attracted women of singular character. Adventurous and free-spirited, dedicated and patriotic women have taken to the air with the sharply honed skills and professional commitment of born aviators. In 1911, Harriet Quimby became the first in a long line of American women to earn a pilot's license, paving the way for greater contributions by aviation pioneers like adventurer Amelia Earhart and Pancho Barnes, the first woman stunt pilot. Aviator Jackie Cochran, winner of the Bendix Trophy in 1938, and the first woman to break the sound barrier, founded the Women's Air Service Program with Nancy Harkness Love. The WASPs ferried aircraft to combat zones during the height of the Second World War, freeing men for combat duty and giving women aviators the chance to do their part for victory. Today, modern heroines, Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, Lieutenant Colonel Jackie Parker, the first woman F-16 pilot to become combat qualified, and Vicki Van Meter, who at the age of 12 remains the youngest person to fly across the Atlantic, carry on the tradition of women in aviation.
And liftoff of STS-7 and America's first woman astronaut. And the shuttle has cleared the tower.
It was a perfect launch into the history books as Challenger once again charged into the sky and gently rolled over, carrying not only Sally Ride, but 4 other male astronauts towards orbit. The trip to space was so exhilarating, Dr. Ride offered this comparison in her first words from Challenger.
You ever been to Disneyland?
Affirmative.
That was definitely an e-ticket.
In other words, the best of all possible rides. Later, the astronauts beamed down their first TV pictures of the payload bay and pointed out the cloud cover over Florida. Then this afternoon, with John Fabian at the controls and Sally Ride still grinning as she worked and played with the camera, they completed their first task, deployment of the Canadian communication satellite.